Good to see you, Peter Esele, and thanks for your time. Quickly, the National Assembly has already sent the amended act back to the president after talking, tough just last year when the president refused assent. So, what are we likely to see in the days ahead?
What we're going to see is that the president is going to sign off on it, because I know there have been series of behind-the-scene negotiation going on what best to do. But I think the president will have its way, because the president is also of the same stock with the leadership of the National Assembly. I think it's just a matter of negotiation. And when they were talking tough, I wasn't expecting the National Assembly to veto the president. I know they don't have the balls to do that.
Well, a while ago, we had conversation with a legal practitioner, Chima Nadia, and his worry is that the president mustn't also delay the way the initial, delay was, put to bear on that particular act. Now, the electoral umpire, INEC, has spoken, saying it is waiting for this particular one. Do you see the president applying some form of, urgency in this?
Yes, I expect, because this was the only sticking point. The entire bill, this was the sticking point where the president felt that it will not be easy for the parties to conduct direct primaries. And if you notice, both parties, whether PDP governors or APC governors, they all seem to be in agreement. And I think that the president will sign it once it reaches his table. I don't expect the president to waste time not to assent this bill, because this is actually the sticking point.
How will this change the dynamics of the coming election for Nigeria? As it is, the president won't be on the ballot. And with this, if this is done and dusted, what are we likely to see?
I think what we're going to see is, of course, we've all seen politics is taking shape now. We have seen various candidates who are jostling for the position. At least we know only about 2 or 3 people have come out. That's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You also have the former one of the governors from the eastern state. And then you also have Odus Okalu who is interested in. But there are some other big weights that we are waiting for to make the pronouncement. And so once that bill is passed, APC is having their convention February 26th. So hopefully what you have is that everybody will start jostling, and then consultation is going on across the country. So when politicians say that they are consulting, they've already made up their mind. They're on their way out. They are coming out very shortly. But I think after APC convention, the political space will be clearer.
Now we're talking about bills. Quickly, let's throw in the not too young to run bill. We haven't actually seen quite young Nigerians from the 2 major parties while showing interest in running for the next election.
Yes, you can pass a bill, but the young Nigerians, where are they going to get the resources? Because it's very expensive. It's very expensive to contest for any office in the country. So the not too young to run bill was passed into law, but they didn't also make sure that it was the field is a level playing field for the young ones to run. If, for example, you are just waiting for announcement, but let me go by the previous things that happened. To be a governor, you are going to have to pay 5 million naira. We don't know what is going to come up. And to be a president, then you are going to pay as high as almost 30 million. So where did you expect a 25-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old to raise this money, who has never been in government? So we all know how these things work. They just wanted to pacify the youth by saying we are passing not too young to run bill, but they didn't provide the necessary infrastructure to make it easier for the youths to actually run for an office. It's a tough call. But again, I would rather look at the glass as half full rather than half empty. The young ones need to organize. It's not just wait for 1 year to the election and you start jostling. No, election is a marathon. You need to prepare.
Well, before I let you go quickly, I think on this preparation, you spoke about the last election in Nigeria, 2019 general elections, saw quite a handful of young Nigerians who participated in that election. What suddenly happened to these faces and names?
One of the things you have is that the names are going to come out. You are going to see the names in another 3-4 months again. But what always happened that I've noticed is that they come out every election cycle. When it's a year to the election, and at the end of the election, they go into their cocoon. And then 3 or 4 years later, they also come out again to want to contest. Politics is not that way. You keep going because it's a marathon. The young ones, or these new faces you are talking about, sees politics as a sprint. And if you see politics as a sprint, you are never going to win.
Esele, thanks for unpacking this for us.
Thank you for having me.